Stop and Q sell.
Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Market has just opened. Okay, so we've had a reasonable amount of
Stop and
movement
Q sell.
overnight. We had half of this a couple of days ago, so interesting to see what today holds. We actually didn't have that much at all yesterday. By the time market open was about here, so we'd had
Sweep
that.
and Q sellers.
So
Absorption and Q buyers. Stop and Q sell.
Sorry, that noise then. So Karina,
Stop
good
and
morning.
Q buy.
Or good afternoon.
Stop
Your
and Q
afternoon,
sell.
you're the same as me. So, okay, so I looked at this. We had a channel down there with a break
Stop
and a
and
new
Q
low. Then we
sell.
seem to have another channel, small channel with a break.
Stop
I was
and Q
looking
buy.
for a lower high up here. We kind of got a lower high, but it was a doji more or less. And it's, you don't know really whether,
Sweep and
you know,
Q
this
buyers.
is more range and this is
Stop
kind of a
and
drop
Q
out, you
buy.
know, when it's going to push back in. So, noise. Sorry. Bookmap again. There you go. Yeah, it's bookmap. I just kill the sound. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, it's it's annoying, isn't it? I keep forgetting. So yeah, that's sorted out. So I did come back later and took a trade actually. Where was it? Can't remember what it was. I did take a photo the other day, but I can't remember what it was. If I do take one, I'll have to start taking a photo. I did take one last week, but forgot about it. So maybe this is something like this. It's a possibility. It's hard to say at the moment, but I think you've got to be careful here because it kind of looks like two legs. So it's hard to know. It does seem to give us the impression that this thing may be a bit bearish. May end up getting something like that. It's just too early, really, at the moment, I think. So it's a possibility that there is something larger down there. Yeah. So not sure about this either. Let's make that a little larger. So do you know what? I watched another video last night. Now, this is a must watch for any trader. Now, you may have watched it. I'll show you now quickly. There's only a few in, and I'll show you later. This is a must. Now, a lot of us probably know a lot of this anyway. They're aware of it, but it's really useful to be reminded. Let me just... this guy was kind of a pioneer in the... Where are you? So I got loads of oven cleaning videos. I've been scrubbing my oven today. Richard White. Yeah. Okay. So this is a must-watch video. This, you know, kind of explains about how price really works and how institutions look at price, and talks a lot about liquidity. Sometimes, you know, we'll take a trade here and we'll get caught out only for the thing to push up, take all liquidity out, and then kind of move down. But Richard Wyckoff's stop loss rules and how to place them correctly. Really interesting. So have a watch of that. You can always freeze this video and go back and have a look at it anyway. So how do I do the link? How do I do the link? I'm better with software. Let me have a look. How do I do the link? So share. Is that it? Is that the link? Copy. Ah, there we go. That should work. Paste. There we go. It's an absolute must. A must. You probably know bits of it, but when you're reminded, it's like, oh yeah, I really got to keep that in mind. So watch that. It's definitely a must. I watched it a bit last night and some earlier this morning. So what are we doing here? Is this thing going to come down now? 1, 2, 3. You may argue there's a triple test there. There's bound to be some longs there, but is this a bit congested? it's hard to say. This may come down. If it gets below there, it'll have a little push. Yeah, as the trouble is, when we've had this with a break, 2 pushes to a new low, and we're going sideways, you never know whether this thing's going to trigger and take off. So it's not straightforward, is it? Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what's in play here, and if you're not sure about how your channel's in play, it's very hard to trade it safely. It's very tempting, that, but what I will say is 2 reasons I left it. One, there's not much room to the lows. So if you take it a tick below there, there's a point and a half to the low. So there's not much room. And depending on whether you like this in a break, it's going sideways, and you never know when it's just going to decide to have either a break or push up, maybe clear some of this out. There's going to be a lot of liquidity there. So it's still a little bit too early in the day to make a definitive decision there, but it was very tempting, I will say. I always like to trap some longs. It's probably going to trap some longs up. That's why I said if it pushes below here, it'll probably come down. So it's very, wanted to short, didn't get it. Didn't get in. Yeah, someone else said no room. Agreed. There's not much room to the lows. Point and a half, if you get in, you can lose a tick of that trigger. So there's a point and a quarter really at most. And when it is going sideways, you've got to be a little careful. When we're getting that type of thing, I much prefer it to break up and out, clear some of this, and then finish really bearish with plenty of room. But if you did get in there and you've got a runner, you've done well out of that. That ATR's up a little bit, so let's have a look. So I'm not sure whether Thomas Wade took it yet. I haven't seen yet, but if he did, he's going to get a nice runner out of that. He may do, it's hard to say. So, I mean, look, even if you follow down, when it's doing this steep, often it'll keep going, and then pull back strong. So I'd be following each bar down and then wait. It's going a bit sideways now, so it may get a bit of a pullback. So there's certainly 12 points there comfortably. So I'll be bringing it down to here, 15 points there. So that would have been a nice runner there. So the trouble is we could have a kind of a leg down and a second leg down. So you never know when this thing's going to turn. Sean, how you doing? Yes. Yes, of course. Yeah, it may well do. I mean, really, since we've had that gap, more or less, we're kind of going sideways. We've had a couple of days of profit, but then we had that drop yesterday, followed by a sort of a pull back to the top, and then quite a steep. What are we down? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We're down 80 odd points. So, yeah, I wouldn't think it would come straight down. We're bound to get a correction, maybe test along here somewhere. But yeah, as we know, market does like to fill that gap. So I put a link in there if you look in the chat. It's a must-watch video, that is, for traders. It's about Richard Wyckoff, who studied markets for years, and he talks about how institutions trade, why we tend to get our stop loss, triggered sometimes, and only for it to go in the same direction. So it's a must-watch, that is. Yeah, see, I watched a little bit of that on the news. It seemed to be relatively good news. I don't think it was quite the. I just caught the news before I come upstairs, and they were saying that the Chinese leader didn't give in much, but they seem to have a bit of an agreement. I think the US, I think China's going to buy soybeans from the US, and I didn't catch the rest. I came up, so it seemed to be something that could work both ways. So I thought the market might react relatively positively, but who knows? It's hard to say. So I'm going to do that channel there, and we've had a break in a new low already, so we've got to be careful. But yeah, as Sean mentioned, we got this gap from, is it Friday? Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, it must have been Thursday. Friday, Monday, Tuesday. I can't remember, something like that from the latter part of last week. I think maybe Thursday, Friday. But it does look like we're not quite there yet. I think it's around about there, so we're not far off. So this may come down a bit more. I would want a bit of a correction. Who knows? I certainly wouldn't do anything with this. So down, kind of an angle and down. So it is kind of two legs. I'd want a steeper leg back. If we do, though, I don't think I'd have much of a problem. We're getting in a short here, but we've got to clean all this up stuff because there's going to be liquidity here, no doubt. There's liquidity up here as well. So will it get that high? Maybe not. But it needs to pull back here for me, really. So a quick stiff pull up there and maybe something nice and bearish. Looking at my second chart, there's bulls there and bulls there, maybe trying to pick a bottom here. So if we can get a nice bearish bar, it may come down. Trouble is, it's hard to say at the moment. I'd want to see real rejection here, and that's not it at the moment. We got no news that I'm aware of today. So I'm just going to take that down a bit. It needs to get up here a little more first, or have a couple of legs. Let's just bring that down a little closer. Could argue there's two legs up there, but I don't like the bar there. That one didn't trigger anyway. I wouldn't have taken that one. Crazy and still falling, yeah. Just wondering if there is something larger. Maybe. Let me just get rid of this.
Order cancelled.
Not paying attention. Let's see if there may end up being something like that. It's a bit hard to say at the moment. If there is, it's wiggling in and out of that midline, so it's hard to trust that, really. So I think we've got to concentrate on the short-term stuff, which is this at the moment with some sideways. Could be something like that. It's working along that midline quite nice, so maybe we get some in here. It's a tough call, really, isn't it? So looking on Bookmap, there is orders at 85. Not very strong, though, but they are there nonetheless. Let's just expand this a little bit. Yeah, there are orders at 85. There are some at 80 and some at 85. Not a huge amount, but you can see this drop off, can't you? Once we get to 85, I can't see much more up there. My guess is if you look at this, it's more likely going to get drawn down. But 85, 87, this area here, maybe we get a leg and a leg, which will take us up to that 85. Let me just put that there. Let's mark this 85 so I know where price could get to before it continues down. That's if it does. You can see those orders quite strong there. Sorry. So maybe we get a leg and a leg with quite a big move down like that. That wouldn't surprise me. So let's just chuck that out of the way a minute. Yeah, I wouldn't jump in just here just yet. These bars are getting a little bit large now. I'd like to see two legs hit this level here and then maybe come down. So they've got to be quite far apart though, really, these. So don't kind of confuse them. What I don't want is something to be confused with a channel. I much prefer those legs a lot wider. like that, ideally. If it's like this, it could be a channel going up. So if you're looking to go short here, so I would prefer it a little bit sideways here and then another leg up. In an ideal world, whether it happens or not, I don't know. Maybe it will. It's going a little bit sideways here. Stay down, going a little bit. I want it to go another couple of bars before it pushes up, really. That's not too bad. If we can get another bar out of that before it pulls up, that will be okay for me. So order's still there, strong at 85. So I'd like to see hit that 85. Now, there is liquidity here before we had that big drop. So whether it'll hit this or not, I don't know. It could do, but I'm not concerned about that. If we can pick those orders up, we may push up and have a nice measured move there. So 85. There we go. So that's picked those orders up. There is a few more at 90 up here, which I'm guessing would pick those orders up. So stops. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, they're not that strong, to be honest with you. But there is going to be liquidity there. So if this thing is going to continue down, that might be not a bad idea. But we have made a measured move there, so that liquidity's gone. Watch that Richard Wyckoff or whatever his name is video. He talks a lot about institutions, looking for sell orders here, picking off early stops, help that with that momentum. It's a really good video to watch. That I've heard bits of stuff over the time. The trouble is when you're not a institutional trader, you don't understand as much about how markets work that they do. They've got all the latest information and data and all the, the hardware and the software and the skills, years and years of skills. We got to kind of, find our own way in this business, which is a bit tougher. So what's going to go on now? So it has picked off these bits of liquidity here. There is going to be stuff here as well. Now, depends how you look at this move down. It's tempting, that is. A leg and a leg. It's very tempting. I'd prefer a lower high. Reason being is there's still orders up here a little bit higher. Now, whether it gets there or not, I don't know, but I'm going to miss the first one because one, it's 14 ticks and it would have triggered you and stopped you straight out. So it's a bit close together, those are. I prefer them to be a little bit wider apart. The trouble is, when they're like that, it could be a channel. So if you're looking to go short because of two legs up, all of a sudden it triggers you and up it goes. So now, if it is that, we've had an overshoot. We know there's liquidity there, that's for certain. What we don't know is whether it's still going to continue down. You just don't know, unfortunately. Bookmap, I suppose, or, tools like that could probably give you a rough idea of where it may go. But there are no guarantees. I'm looking at Bookmap now. There are orders down here at 85, which mean price could come down to that EMA. There are orders down here at 70, which is down here, close to these lows. And there are orders up at 900, which you'd kind of expect. If we get to the 900, it would pick off that bit of liquidity there, which caused that. But the trouble is, how far, when it goes back up, how far is too far to, start thinking, okay, this is more of an uptrend rather than a larger pullback. So we're close to those orders at 90, and that's about as much as I can see, really. Certainly here. But I don't know at the moment. It's hard to say. This looks to me like it may be pushing up. See, it depends how you look at this. We've got a small channel with a break at a new low. We push up, kind of test the top of this. So It may be going up. It's hard to say, really. It's gone up quite steep for me. So there are orders at 900, which would clear that. Depends how you're looking at this, see? If there is something larger, we've surpassed that, really. Maybe there is. Maybe this is a break from this, clearing some of this. It's so hard to say at the moment, but if you use that fib tool, if you read fibs, you could go from the top to the bottom. Here's the 50% level. It's just hard to say at the moment, really, exactly what's going on, but I thought sure reminders to this gap down here. It's a fair-sized gap, so I didn't expect it to just push straight down at that level. I did expect to pull back, not quite as much as this, though, but this move down really, certainly since the previous lows, has just recovered in literally a matter of minutes. Quite strong. I mean, it's literally gone up 10, 20, 30. It's gone up about 35 points super quick, so that tells me it's not a pullback. Yeah, we could have something like that. A break, who knows? It's irrelevant now anyway, but this now is definitely channel up now. Trouble is, if you're constantly waiting for it to pull back, you're missing the move up. So I used to be that focused on this must go down, and you'd miss that kind of move up. By the time you realised it's not coming down, you're up here and you've kind of missed all that. So there's definitely some support there. Previous support, maybe new resistance, something like that. Depends how you're looking at it. But that was the kind of previous overnight lows, and then we've just sort of smashed straight through that. So this is moving up really strong. Trouble is, by the time you realise that and you decide to get in here with a half-soaked trade, triggers you and decides to have a break. So 1, 2, 3. That's sort of really confirmed this, I think, isn't it? So I'll probably expect a break here because we've hit this level. We don't need that anymore. I mean, I suppose if traders are trading this up, I suppose you're looking for support resistance lines where to get out, really. You know, there are traders who just literally move from support to support and resistance. So when we hit one of those levels, you kind of naturally think traders are jumping out of positions and the thing may decide to pull back. But depends how strong people think these are. Arminas, how you doing, bud? So, but look, I mean, we're straight back to the trend line, and then all of a sudden moving up. I would like to see a break. I'd be surprised if that goes much higher without a break. Yeah, you can naturally see it across there, can't you? Here, 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 here. And there's going to be profit taking there for sure. So we may get a second entry long here, break, second entry long. We've got to come down below this, which would that little bit of momentum, but I don't know. Depends how strong this is. Okay, so quick look at bookmap. Might be worth it. So we got orders sat here at 900, which is here. So if we do manage to get below, so we're above this now, so may take off. But you expect orders at there, don't you? Which is below there, which is 900, nice round number. And they are, so that'll start to disappear now, I think. And this looks like it's continuing on up. Orders down there at 85, that's too low for me. So sometimes you get these breaks and it doesn't get anywhere near the EMA, it just continues on up. So that's quite a strong move up, really, that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 points, 45 points, more or less straight up. What's that, about 40, 42? Where are we now? 57, 15 minutes. 15, 16 minutes straight up. So, now, there's always the possibility that there may be something wider. I'm going to leave that just at the minute, though, because if we get back to here, I'll be thinking about taking a long based on this, but if that's the channel, we've already had a break, made 2 pushes through a new high, so it's hard to know where this thing is going to go now. So automatically jumping into a long here and making a wider channel would be a bit presumptuous to me. Thomas Wade's got it as a wider channel. He does make wider channels earlier, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Depends how you trade. It works for him. I'm always a little bit too, I want to say overcautious, but I think probably paranoid is more of a correct term to use. So it's hard to say, really. I mean, if I go from here, we've had a push up, see, we've had a pull back, and then I tend to kind of use somewhere around about here. You may argue you've had a small break there, 2 pushes to a new high, but I'd be okay dragging that out, I think. Let's have a look, see what everybody else has got, see if anybody else is looking at a different channel. So you've got to be so careful here. I think it is important as well to be aware of, are you trapping shorts, which it's always a good thing. So there, you've got a bearish bar there on the left chart, and you've got a lower high. If this triggers and pushes up strong, it may go up. The trouble is, we've already had a break of this in a new high, in my opinion, so we may make one attempt to go higher and a second attempt, and then it may come down. So there's a bearish bar triggered there, so bounce, bounce, bounce. You may say a triple test and go long here. I'm just a bit cautious here. Let me have a look on Bookmap. So there are orders at 901 on Bookmap, which is a little bit below here. There's liquidity there. There's bound to be. So if we hit 901 and get some strong, a strong move up, that might not be terrible. But depends how you've got this. It's very tempting, that is. What's the size of it? 13. I may wait for the lower high, I think, just in case. If you get a lower high, I'd have a go at it.
Order submitted.
Trouble is, with a break new high, there's a possibility of a channel down. So you may get trapped there. See what I mean? You just don't know. You may go long there, think, yeah, great, it's working. You might get up to the top of this and then drop. Depends how you've got this. If you've got a wider channel, you may not be too concerned with that. But at the moment, I'm just a bit on the fence here. This thing could come down, which is why I think the safer option is the higher low. You've got to be a bit careful here. I mean, depends what you've gone point-wise. If you've gone for a point, you've already made your profit there, but you've got to be a little bit careful here. This could have a quick drop. So there's a possible failure there. So what do you do here? Do you go short or what? We haven't got a higher low for starters. We may have in a minute. Okay, so that's triggered. So that will be a higher low. You know what I'm saying here? That could be in trouble now. See, it depends. If you've got that tight channel, we've already got a break in a new high. Now, it may trap some longs here and come down, and it may be a downtrend. So at the moment, I'm not super sure about this. But what I am going to do is just It's a tough one, this is. Trouble is, we could break above this. We could trap a higher low in and have a second entry short. Tough one, that is. Yeah, I'm leaving this. This, I think here...
Order cancelled.
Maybe some longs trapped there. It's looking like it, innit? Can't make its mind up. Still not sure about this. Possible second entry short. Okay, so for a minute, it was looking a bit dicey. Okay, so there's bound to be some shorts in there, the way that move. A couple of people took it. I left it just because I've already got a break. You never know. I've got trapped. Yeah, it's hard to say there. You've got to be a bit careful, but it did work. The trouble is, if you've got a channel like that and you've got a break in a new high, you never know whether this thing's going to pull back. Now, that was a better idea. My trouble is, and I'm thinking, well, it's respecting this line here. It may trigger you. Give us a second entry short and come down. Then you got liquidity and liquidity and there as well. So, tough one, that is. Just take a photo of that. It's hard to say that, see, if we'd have had a break here. I thought for a second, when this pushed up and started to come down, we were only about 4 ticks off from stopping that out, in which case we may have had a break, but I don't know. It's tempting that. It did shoot up quick, and obviously as it hit that and hit that. It took them all out, didn't it? But it worked, and it worked quick. But yeah, once it's starting to do that, you've got to ask yourself the question, do I really want to take this, or am I not super sure? But I like that, and it was clearly a break and a new high. Now, there may have been something wider there. It's always a possibility, but in which case it's there, which means small break. I don't know. It's hard to say. you may have had that there like that, in which case you've got a tiny break with a new high. So you just got to be a bit careful. Depends how you look at things. Yes, if just for instance, if you look at Taylor's chart, he's got the same. So he's got a small break here, a new high. Yes, there's 2 legs back, but you just don't know. It's a tough one. You've got to make a decision, haven't you? So if you like this, a break and a new high, or if it is the bigger channel, where are we? So if we got a channel there, break new high, or is this the break? It's hard to say. Yeah, I don't think Thomas Way took it. It's just a little bit too uncertain here. Trouble is, I don't like what's going on here. We're missing that a little bit just to make that fit. Whereas if I put it back to that, we've had a small break with a new high. So do I look to go long here? That's the trouble. Now it's going a bit sideways. It's not that easy sometimes. Sometimes it's it's hard. I'll have a better word. Depends how you trade, and that's the problem. If you're trading evaluations, I'd take that all day long. But when I'm risking real money, I want to be sure. Jay, how you doing, bud? I thought for a second when that came down, it was a few ticks from taking out that, and that would have took out a lot of stops. What I will say about that is it did break below there, and there, I think, by that bot bit, which means it took out liquidity. Yeah, it did. So it took out any previous liquidity. Trouble is, it pushes up, and then all of a sudden, it looks like now you've got a downtrend, and it's bounced off the top. You can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be traders going long there, and all of a sudden this started coming down. I thought it was going to launch down, so I was kind of glad I left it, but it just goes to show that was a bit, a stronger bar. But then I'm just thinking, is it going to tick above this? And second entry short, depends how you've got that. So it's possible second entry long. I'm tight at the moment. Tough one here. I don't like this. See, depending on how you look at this now, is this a new high, or is it going to push up? So I'm sitting tight here. So, rightly so. Now, if you've got this like that, which you could do, there's your break. Push up, pull back, push up. It gone up too steep, that, but if you've got that like that, we've already had a break and a new high, so it's hard to know exactly what to do here. So, it is a second entry long. We've pushed up, maybe a bounce. You may expect it to go higher, but it's EMA is a bit flat, which doesn't always tell you much. And then we could now be doing something from a little bit further back. Could be doing something like this. The trouble is, it's a work in progress trend channels, and you never quite know whether you've got everything exactly how you should have. So if it's not always that straightforward, it's hard to trade it and to trust it. There could be 2 attempts to push lower here, which it may push up. Or we could have had 3 attempts to push higher, in which case it's coming down. It's just not super clear at the moment. We've got orders down at 1890, which is down here. That would clear liquidity there and liquidity there. So I think there's a good chance it'll hit there. So 1890, which is down here. It's hard to say. There are 2 legs there. See, having that down here, strong orders down here, I would have to leave this. There are some at 95, which may get hit. So 95 is there. Just missed it, so it may come down again, but there are orders at 90 as well. So it's tough on that. It's hard to know whether we've had a break at a new high or whether this is just 2 attempts to go lower and up it goes. Could be very much like a penguin style trade. Could be a little bit rangy. I mean, there are 2 legs down and they are quite broad. So you wouldn't really confuse that with a channel, I don't think. It's a bit too broad for me. So maybe it's 2 legs back. I would prefer that to at least hit that level here, but there is no entry bar there, unfortunately. Yeah, a couple took that one there. Tough one, that is. I did expect it to stop that out, but I don't know how far it's going to go. So it is a failure, but it's just hard to know. I think Marco took it. Dan didn't. So we have pushed down, cleaned out liquidity here. There is a lower high here, but look at the size of it. It ain't finished yet. It's 23 ticks. Hardly any room to the lows. I've got a parcel coming soon, so I'm just going to have to nip off just for a second. Five stops away. Okay, so that's picked those orders up there. There is some more down at 90. Bounce, bounce, bounce. You may argue that's a triple test. I'm just not sure what's going on here. Is this thing starting to lose some momentum? I don't want it to trigger and then come down. So you've got to be a bit careful here. There is a measured move there. Trouble is, it's 21 ticks. I'm assuming that there isn't a channel down here. So do I really want to go along there? It's just hard. It's just unclear at the moment. There are kind of 2 legs back, but is this a channel down now? This I thought was too broad. This looks much better if it is. As I say, there are orders at 90. working. Trouble is, it's a little bit choppy now, so it's okay to go, that looks like something, but it also looks like this. If I think really, if you've got mixed messages, the best thing to do is to leave it. You know, we've heard the saying, there are no guarantees in trading. There is one guarantee. If you don't take a trade, you're guaranteed not to lose any money. So I think if you're not sure, or it's, you know, we're up, down, we're above the EMA, below the EMA, above it, below it. So it's a bit hard to say. Now, Marco took that. I didn't think it was a terrible trade, but is this struggling to get up and it's going to come down? So that's what concerns me. So all of a sudden, 1 minute it's looking like it may be pushing up, and all of a sudden now we've got 2 bars and we've come down about 10 points quickly. So I'm just a bit unsure. If this is a channel, there's a break, we may get a new low. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think as long as you've got mixed signals, you're best off to do nothing. Okay, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Okay, see. Yeah, it's hard to know what the hell's going on here. That's the trouble, really. It's hard to go for bigger moves because the market seems to constantly overlap itself. Yeah. Not sure what's going on here, to be honest with you. Maybe that is a channel. It's just not very broad. So it's bound to take out that stop there. Bound to. Because there'll have been traders trading that, as we know. So we know there are orders there at 90, which is there. So I think there's a good chance those orders are going to get picked up. You can see them down there. And then it'd be interesting to see what goes on then, whether this thing continues up. It's hard to say. We've got bigger orders sat at 15, which is, I'd say, right at the top here. So based on that, we could kind of be ranging a little bit here. Yeah, someone else has just put a little range there, so that's always a possibility. Just not so sure. Let's just kill that colour a bit. No, I don't like that. It's too broad for me. So pushed down, took out that liquidity. Didn't quite hit that 90 level. But if this comes down, then I'm going to put another channel there. I'm still not ready to go short just yet. Because you never know when it's going to just decide to bounce. There's always a possibility of a channel down. You know, we've had this break, a push up, a second push up, and it looks, if you look at the high here, then this one, then this one, then this one, it's progressively, these highs are getting lower and lower, and same with the bottoms. So that's telling me maybe this is a channel here, but there's bound to be liquidity there. There was there, that got taken out. We know there are orders down there, so It's hard to know. My gut feeling is this may be coming down. I certainly want to give it the benefit of the doubt to hit that and see what happens. But I can't go long here at the moment because price is progressively starting to come down. So that's it, those orders. That I kind of expected. Now let's see what goes on here. See if these buyers can prop this thing up. So aggressive sellers coming in now. You can see them here. Now it depends how much these buyers are going to hold this up. Starting to even up a bit now. There's obviously a battle going on there. Whether this thing comes down some more, I have a feeling it may do. I think now really this is about aggressive buyers and sellers here. A lot of these orders have got soaked up. There are still some more down here, but they're evening out now, so it's a tough one, isn't it? But we've got orders up here, so it could push up higher. But there are some there, which is maybe 88, just a little bit lower than this, So big chunk of aggressive buyers there, as you can see. That just shot up and that caused that to push up. So there are orders at 900 now, so it could hit here and continue down. So it's just hard to tell at the moment. It's quite choppy. It's very volatile at the moment. That ATR's shot up. It started in lower threes, now it's 4.25. So just makes your risk a little bit bigger. So we are kind of looking like this thing is sort of teardropping down. So if we get maybe a higher low here, we get a second entry short. Look at that thing go, look. Straight up there, take that stop out. So there is a higher low there, but I'm staying out. Some of these bars are getting rather large. That could trigger and come down. If I put this like this and take that top up a touch, you can more or less counteract that. In fact, you put that up there, you're not far off there. Yeah. Possible second entry short. I'd have preferred it to trigger that. But same again, look at the size of the bars. If you get it wrong here, that can be costly. And if you're still only going for your 2 points, you might be risking double that and the rest. It's just a bit too large there. It is a higher low. I'd have much preferred it to trigger that. If it triggers that, then at least when it comes down, it's got some momentum. I mean, it is technically a second entry short, but I would much prefer it if it triggers that bar, because I know then there's traders trapped, and when it does it, they're stopped. That gives it some momentum. So I'm going to ditch that now. I don't think it's a range anymore. This does look like now channel break. Depends how you look at this. A bit messy, actually. Let's just clean up a bit. So channel, maybe a break. Depends how you have that. New high anyway, and then progressively lower highs, higher lows. EMA's facing downwards, kind of running nice in line with that middle, the center line there, the middle line there. So maybe we will still get down here and sort this gap out. It's possible we could have a leg down. It just had a quite strong pullback. I expected after that move down to kind of get a correction, but this I didn't think it would do this, especially after it pushed up so strong. Excuse me, sorry. Channel break new low. See if we can get a second entry short up here. Okay, so I'm just going to get an order here,
Order
just
submitted.
in case we get something. I'm not sure about that. I much prefer those bars when they're a high or low. I'm just going to sit tight here a minute, I think. Oh, well, what do you do?
Order cancelled.
Just didn't push up that high every other time it's come up to the top. Possibly a lower high there. Gonna have some longs caught there, that's for certain.
Order submitted.
The size of it there, there's no space left. No, I'm not getting in for 20 ticks. That's ridiculous. That is. There's no
Order
space,
cancelled.
unfortunately. I was hoping we get a lower high here. Aye. And we could push out the bottom here. It's just 20 ticks. There's no room left. I was so tempted to take that. I'm just concerned. Every time we've come down, we've come right to the top. Bearing in mind the pullbacks have been a little bit steeper. But there you go. And then all of a sudden, woof, straight up. What is this market doing today? Yeah, I think I'd have got me 3 points in here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I will have done. Yeah, comfortably. And then all of a sudden, woof. Take the lower high there, triggers, shoots straight out, stops that one out, stops that one out. It's getting a bit volatile, this price, isn't it? ATR's over 4. Get a break here, we'll see. I'm going to have to wait for a lower high, unfortunately. Channel break. It's hard to say whether we've had a break there and a new high. Possibly. It's just one leg up the seesaw. I think bars like that then are vulnerable, and that's pretty much going to stop that out. I'd be amazed if it doesn't. There it goes. Yeah, so this is a channel, so I would expect a new low. So maybe if we trigger above this, we get a second entry short. I wouldn't mind having a go at that.
Order submitted.
We've got a trigger above it for me. Is it above it here? Yeah, it is. I prefer it to take out some liquidity first. Don't like that bar. Lower high is a better option. Just didn't think it was just bearish enough. You have got longs trapped there. There's no argument there. See if we get a lower high here. So it's a channel with a break and a new high. See if we may get a lower high here. Second entry short, lower high. I just wasn't a massive fan of that bar. I'd have preferred it to hit that, then come bearish. So there is liquidity at 900, which you'd expect because it's above there. And that is right there. So there is a lower high possibly there. Trouble is, with that liquidity there and those orders, I'd want to leave that. It's not finished yet. Look at the size of it. It's 22 ticks. Too risky. That is super risky. And all of a sudden, well, the bar looked crap now anyway. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Maybe get a triple test. I'd love it to hit that order. There is orders up at 10 up here, but I can't see that thing getting that high. Measured move from low targets. 930-ish. bit congested now. For me, it's got to get above here and above here. Then we might have a chance of getting a short. Oh, I'm shivering here. Come on, push up at those 900 level. Take out that, then I'd be interested. One more tick. There we go. Oh, not quite. Now I'll get one. There we go. So that's taken out any liquidity. So let's see how this forms now. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Igor, how you doing, buddy? Okay, let's ditch this.
Order
I'm not too
cancelled.
Sure now. So there's bound to be a little bit of resistance there. So it's hard to say, channel break. Does look like it's coming down now, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to give us a pullback here. If it gets below there, then there, it'll come down. Wow, what is going on here? So we got down to the bottom every time, bar here. So you'd expect a break. Okay, excuse me, just 1 second. Right, 1, 2, 3. We have made a few attempts. There are orders down here at 91 below this. Yeah, most of the orders I can see now are low, around about 91-ish down here below this. So if we can get maybe a triple test second entry short here, something like that. There's support there. Support resistance there. 1, 2, 3. Doing good. How are you? I'm well, mate. I'm okay. Cold. Bit fresh today. I think we had our first frost this morning. It's getting a little bit cool, that's for certain. Yeah, winter's well and truly on its way. So, channel break, 2 pushes to a new high, maybe a spike in channel there. It's hard to say. Your natural thought process is for this to come down and break the lows. But it doesn't always. But what I will say is if you look on Bookmap, there are a lot more orders down here. There are something up here around about 910, which is up here, around about this liquidity. But you've got, lots of orders down there. So usually that draws price down sort of 91.87. So the low 80s, in other words, below here. So probably one would expect it to sort of clean a lot of this liquidity out, but there are no guarantees. We could have a leg and a leg up. It's hard to say. So there are orders at 10 up there. Whether they'll get there or not is a different matter. Maybe a spike in channel. There's nothing you can do really at the moment. Reload. You've reloaded. I reloaded mine earlier. In fact, I did it twice actually because I was having problems with this one looking different. That might be a better option. Do you know what? I was tempted to do this a while ago. This here. But I left it because this, and funny enough, Matt's just done exactly the same. Excuse me, just a sec. See you later. Yeah, so Matt's got that now, but that's the bit I think that's a bit weird, but he has got this as well. So this channel down here, which is kind of what I got. Well, he's got it from there, which may mean we've had a break in a new low. It's hard to say. So I'm not a fan of that anyway. So I think it's a bit irrelevant anyway. So I think Mac had that like that, and that kind of would make sense. That we've already possibly had a break and a new low. Trouble is, ordinarily you want this to confirm the channel by hitting it 3 times. It hasn't really because this is kind of a break, but maybe it doesn't matter. Who knows? So possible overshoot. We've hit that 910 level. So maybe this thing's now going to career down because of the overshoot. I don't know. I'm just not sure at the moment today. It is moving anyway. So if you can get a trend, and maybe good for your runners today if you take runners. Okay, excuse me a sec. I'm just going to raise my desk and put my heater on, so I might look a bit odd. You might see the top of my head for a while. Disappearing now. Got it? Okay. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I think now this may be coming down. Trouble is, we kind of range in here. So, Disco, how you doing, buddy? So looking at bookmap now, majority of the orders are down here around about the low 80s. So I think there's a good chance this thing comes down now. You're doing that. Come on. So we're definitely finding something there. So I don't know, maybe we're ranging a little bit here. Well, there's your answer. 2 legs up. So, as I say, bookmap, most of the orders are down here, 82 to 85, which is this area down here. 82 to 85. Wrong way. Let me have a look. So just above 85 is the top of them, let's say there, and down to about 81 and a half. Whoop. Down to about 81 and a half. So lots of liquidity down here below all this. So if we can get a second entry short, I wouldn't mind having a go down. Having a go short, sorry. That looks like 2 legs to me. You could argue it's 1, but then it looks like an overshoot to me. And based looking at a book map, there is orders at 15 up here, but this to me is quite a strong move down. So me thinks it's going to continue down. Did you take any trades yesterday? Yes, I took one later for 2 points. What I'm going to start doing, if I do take one later, I'm going to record it. Not record it, take a photo of it. I did do one last week. I said I was going to take a photo, but I couldn't find it, and I did find it. But
Connection lost.
yeah, if I do take it, I am going to down here. I've got a feeling that was a few days ago. Anyway, there was one that I took. I think this was. I don't think this was yesterday. I think this was last week or something. That I saw. We had 2 nice legs up, clear channel down. Another one there. So, no, I don't know what that is. What about that one? No, that's just something I'm working on. No, I will record them. I will take a screenshot of them next time I do. So channel, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I didn't think this was a channel up. Thomas doesn't. Who's this? Someone else. Taylor. So I'm just not a fan of it. If it is, there's an overshoot. So my gut feeling is it's probably coming down. Certainly based on the liquidity on, you can see there's not so much here. There's a lot more down here. So my guess is this thing is getting drawn down. So if we can see kind of a nice offering where no one's getting trapped, we may get something. I'd like to see a little push up here. Little push up and then down into this area. Just thinking, I can't see much in the way of liquidity, so it may not. That's the trouble, really. When there's no liquidity to grab, sometimes the thing just drops. There's nothing that really trapped that I can see on my chart. And unfortunately, it just drops. What can you do? That interested me. The lower high was the better option, and we just didn't get one at all. That's the try. It's so frustrating. It just doesn't. Nothing there. Nothing there. It just moves over and drops. That's the trouble. Excuse me a sec. Still orders down there, so if we can get a break, maybe test this area, we may still get something. Trouble is, half the time it'll just trigger like that and just drop. You can see those orders on bookmap here, all here, from 90 downwards. So from here downwards, it's frustrating me when it just does turn over and then just drops. Trouble is, guarantee if I get in here, it'll decide now to have a break and test this. So, what can you do? You've just got to leave it. as frustrating as it can be sometimes, where you got a fair idea where price is going, but just no entry. And the time you do just decide to jump in is the time it'll trigger. It'll break. It's just how it works. See, technically that is a failure. There's a second entry long here. So tempting, that is. Second entry long
Order
failure.
submitted.
Second entry long, which triggers and fails. Trouble is the bar's big again. It could trigger and push up again. It's just a bit too far for me, to be honest with you. As tempting as it is, and it is. It's 17 ticks, tick above, tick below. Guaranteed you get in, it'll come and stop you out and then test the bottom. If you don't do nothing, it just drops. It's just one of those things. There's not a huge amount of distance to the
Order
lows.
cancelled.
There's enough, I think. 3 points. Not quite, but if it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's just not pushed up comfortable enough there for me. I'd have preferred it to hit this bit of support here. It's always a way. You do nothing, it moves. You get in, it triggers and stops you out. It doesn't always work, but you just have to wait for an offer, really. There is 2 legs. Trouble is there going to be many buyers? It's an inside bar, so that, and even with an inside bar, it certainly went up a couple of points. So you just can't take it, in my opinion. It's just a bit too far. But the trouble is, if most people know where price is going, have got a fair idea, sometimes it just doesn't get back and sometimes it just drops. If you're looking at Bookmap, you can clearly see those orders down there. There's no reason for it to pull back apart from aggressive buyers. But it's just one of those things. Look at this. This would be a better option if this could push up, trigger this out and give us a proper second entry short. I'm going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
It may look a bit better here, but I would much prefer it to hit this, take this out, because I think this is a little bit too far. There is support there. Is it going to hit it? So there you go. I made a good decision there. Well, it hasn't stopped it out yet, but I think it probably will. So if I got in there, 2 points I'd have got there, nothing more. I'd have got stopped out. Well, that's assuming it's going to hit above there, which I think it will do. There are orders at 900. Just come in, just a few, not many. As it triggered above there, it has by a tick. So it did stop that out. I'd like to see it push just a little bit higher. That would be better. Just don't want it to be too big. Like that. Might be enough. Looks kind of rangy, but we're at the top of a range. It didn't trigger anyway. I don't like the bar. Might not be too bad here, but all of a sudden it's crossing up and pushing up. There's a few orders at 900, not many, which would be about the midline there. Okay, it's picked off some of those orders, so that's better. Now it has. Now let's see what happens. If that finishes bearish, I think I'll have a go at that. Like a hidden second entry short. It's not pushing down as strong as I thought it might, though. That's the problem. I'm just getting rid of my order here. This is
Order cancelled.
flickering around a little bit too much, this. So we've had a break and attempted a new low. See if we, in all honesty, there is a channel down there with a break. So perhaps this is pushing up. It's getting a bit hard to read this thing. It's flying in all different directions at the moment. That we know is a channel. It's a little bit rangy, I think, now. So let me just tidy this up a little bit. So what I will say is I know there are orders down there, so I think that's definitely a target. You could put that there. So there's a small break. Okay, so I think at the moment, mind you, we've had a move up. You could argue this is 2 attempts to go lower, so we could push up for another leg. But my guess is at the moment, this is kind of range rules. Excuse me a sec. Not the easiest day today, is it? Say that quite a bit. Hmm. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. I got a stressful teenager. Okay. So break new high. Nothing I can really do at the moment. Okay. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Just going to give us a little bit of space. I think it's just ranging at the moment, more or less. But the trouble is, because we've had this move up and then we've had maybe 2 attempts to go there, it could push higher. I'm not sure at the moment, so I've got no orders open. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay. Second entry long. Yeah, just would I have taken that? I'm not too sure, actually. I kind of had this don't diddle in the middle thing. Don't know whether we got to break a new high there. So it does look like we're making two legs up. Let me just get rid of this. Trouble is, I do wonder whether I'm maybe being a little bit overcautious. I think it's part of the journey. You go from maybe being a bit too careless to being a bit overcautious. I think it's just part of it. So I do wonder. You know, there was a trade back here that I was very tempted. Where was it? I can't remember where it was now. What? Oh, that's nuts. Let me just get rid of that. I don't really need it. Where was it? I can't remember what it was now. I think it was better on here, wasn't it? I think that was it there. I can't remember now. It looked a bit better than that. I don't know. I think I'm losing my mind. Got a teenager at home at the moment. Stressed. Talk about stress. Teenagers. Okay, second entry long there, too far from the EMA, although I think there's a good chance we're going to test these highs anyway. Now, there's probably a few bears there, but at the moment, I'm just sitting tight because depending on how you look at that channel, if you like it like that, we've had a break at a new high, so naturally I will pause for longs unless we had a nice setup, but I certainly tend to avoid the middle a little bit. What I will say is there are orders on ukft. Those orders are still down there, which is telling me it's probably a range and we may probably still get down there. But we got orders at between kind of that is probably about 14, isn't it? Which is above price at the moment. Sorry, above where this kind of range tops. But they start for around about 8, I'd say 908, which is probably here. So if we had a second entry long here, there is a second entry long technically, but it's just too far from the EMA. The bars, you know, a couple of ticks off a doji. So that for me is a bit, what I will say is I like the fact that it's broken below there, which has took some liquidity and it may work. But for me at the moment, that lump of liquid, that lump of passive orders there, round about the 8, which is probably 3 points higher. So if we got a better second entry long here, I may have a go at that, but at the moment, price is just sort of a little bit stagnant, which is telling me traders are. Trouble is sometimes getting in these middle areas, it will trigger you, stop you, and then push up to the top again. But at the moment, overall, I think it's ranging. I mean, there's always a possibility with a move up. We have 2 attempts to push lower, can't get there, and then we move up maybe. You know, I mean, we could have an overall range day over the day. You know, we could end up here, and realistically, you know, the overall is a possible range. Or we could make a bunch of attempts to push higher, and then we push down and fill the gap. Got this move down, bunch of attempts to push higher. So, you know. So that's the one I'd avoided. And when you see this coming down now, your natural instinct would be to think, well, this is going to do me. It's just too far from that EMA. I suppose for me, if you're taking trades, I like them when they're snug on top. They've pushed below and snug on top. They seem to be a lot more reliable. That type of trade, obviously you want that to be bearish, but I love it pushes above it and closes right on its lows and it's tucked nice and tight underneath. They're much reliable than taking something this low down that's pushed up a little bit and dropped, gone too far. This is kind of where you want them. Yeah, I mean, from a second entry long point of view, that's about as good as a bar you can get. Now, we've got a small break and a new, so my concern was there may be a channel down now, so I left that, but it did work and the higher low worked. But that's how I love to see my longs if I take them and vice versa. Just beautiful, sat right on top of that EMA, push below clearly, cleared out any liquidity and then up. But the fact that it went up, went back a bit, it's not nice to sit through that, but then obviously the higher low and then woof up off it took, stopping out these on the way. Okay, so we're eating through those orders now. So, quick look at bot map. So, I'm guessing that is maybe 14 or 15, which is up here somewhere. It's eaten those orders up there. There is a few more, but look down here, just below the 900, which is around about the midline. And a lot of these down here, there are still some there, but they're fading a little. Armanas, was it you I was chatting to yesterday? It just got your PA account. I'm sure it was you. Just wondered how you were doing with it. So maybe a couple of legs up. We definitely bounced up here. So looking at those orders, 11, which is there, right at the top. So I'm not going to bother marking that. And 15, which is there. So 15 would take us above there. Now, if we push up there, hit those orders, and then get some strong, mind you, it's going to be quite a sizey bar, isn't it, if it does that? Second entry short, possible failure there. So there's the new low after here. Second entry short, which is triggered. Trouble is, there's quite a few of these orders popping in now. 91, 93, which are around about here. You can bet there'll be liquidity there. So my gut feeling is this is probably going to push down temporarily and pick up some of these orders. So they start around about 91 and about 93. So 93, which is there, and around about 91. So this may pop down. It's hard to say. There is a second entry short there, which is triggered, so a possible failure. Trouble is, when you've got these orders down here, that's what concerns me, because if it triggers you, comes down, it'll stop that one out, and possibly this one. So my gut feeling is this is going to pull back temporarily. So I wouldn't take a trade here, even though there is a possible failure. You can see these orders here around about the 93, around about the 91, and 87.5, which is below here. So maybe this is 2 legs and this is as high as it's going to go. So that area does contain buyers. So getting in here, in my opinion, is premature. It's likely to pull back, certainly below that bar there. So what I'm thinking, here it comes now. What I'm thinking is we get bounce, a bounce, and then we may push up. So I'd like it to get into this area here. Stop at that. So that one will go in a second, or has it? Not quite. So there's going to be liquidity there and there. So I wonder if there's a channel up here. So it didn't get in there. It didn't break below there either. Okay, here we go. So that would be a second entry long off this area here. Trouble is, if 90 gets taken out here, there are at 97. That looks like a bit of a spike in a channel for me. So this is where I expect price to get into. But look in here, there's very strong orders around about 98, which is here. So if that goes down that far, for me, this isn't going to go up anymore, I don't think. But there is a possible second entry long here. Okay, so that's done what I expected it to do. Those orders are disappearing now, the 97 ones. That's cheeky, that is. Their orders are disappearing because it hasn't hit that. See how they're getting yanked? I forget what they call that. Put them there to try and drag price down, not intended on getting in. But you can see how dark they're in. They've gone now. They're going. So that possibly be a second entry long. It can't get down any more, though. You can see them disappear. There's still orders there, but not that many. So this looks like it's going up now. Unfortunately, I don't like the bar. It is a second entry long. The bar was better. I may be tempted. It wasn't huge. So that did what I expected it to, but those big chunk of orders down there got yanked last minute. See if we get a higher low. So that does look like a channel there, a spiking channel. And this is a break. There is a second entry long there. There's still orders at 900, which is where the midline is. Which wouldn't get us below there. Trouble is, it's getting close to that centre line there. I don't like trading around the middle. Mind you, I suppose this is wide enough to take it, but let's see if we get a higher low here. It has picked off liquidity there, which is interesting. There is some more down there, but that pushed quite strong through the AMA, so that may hold. But there is orders at 900, which would be there. Maybe that's no good. Maybe it's a channel with a break to push you to a new high. Trouble is, you can't take that when it's so close to these highs. You don't know where it's going to trigger you and push up. And now this is starting to look like a channel. Not the easiest of days today, I will say. Okay, so that's getting close to those 900 orders. Trouble is, this is the channel now, and it's going to take out all these. Okay, folks, I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to take a break now, have a bite to eat, and I'm going to come back for an hour later. If I take a trade, I will take a screenshot of it. It's not the easiest of days. It is moving, but it's kind of very aggressive, isn't it? You know, some of these bars are like 20 ticks. Trouble is, and when it's whipping around like this, if you get it wrong, it can be pricey. So I'm going to leave you folks to it. So I'll be back again tomorrow. As I say, if I do take any trades later, I will take a screenshot and I'll show you tomorrow. So best of luck today. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a good evening. Stay safe. We'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.